gentlemen, we are live. It's time.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to all of you out there. Yeah, man, 2 more days and say hello to 2026. It's crazy. Like, the year is almost over. Where the fuck did this year go? Like, holy shit. But once again, guys, we are now live here on the YouTube channel. We're also live over on Twitch. We're also live over on Kick. This is another edition of Steve's Kitchen here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. As always, it is me. It is Steve. How was your weekend? How was your Christmas, ladies and gentlemen? I can't hear you, but I hope for your sake it was a great one. I hope you all got the gifts you wanted. I hope you all got to spend it with your loved ones, your family, your friends, and all that fun stuff. I think that's what's important when you look at Christmas and stuff like that. Like when you were a kid, right? When I was a kid, I used to love getting toys, right? I used to love getting toys as a kid. Even though I had that one relative who would just give me clothes, but it is what it is, right? And as you get older, like you start to realize, like, Christmas is not about, you know, what that being you want at that moment. It's about the kids, you know. So as you get older, you start getting stuff that you probably look at as like, oh, why am I getting this? What is this? Right? Like we all have that one relative. We all have that one relative that will hand you a random, makes no sense at all Christmas gift, right? We all have one, that one relative, that one friend, right? But then you realize as time goes on, as whatever it may be, that gift might come in handy. So just food for thought, okay? Food for thought. But yeah, outside of that, I had family showing up. My brother showed up from Chicago. Um, Me and the cousins with my brother along. We went to a bar like hours before, like, celebrating, right? We pre-gamed for the most part. Your boy was a little wavy. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little wavy, but the way we do things is like we celebrate on the 24th. Like my family, I know everyone's family is different, right? I know there's some people out there who get up at 7 in the morning, whatever it may be, 9 a.m., whatever, and you do your presents being open, literally morning. Y'all do Christmas morning. And then there's some of us who celebrate it at midnight. Midnight, it's Christmas. Hello, we are back, basically. Right. But be that as it may, I can't complain. Had a good time being with family and all that stuff. I had to work on the 24th. So there was that also. I got my cousins gifts for the most part. And yeah, cannot complain. I had a good time. I had a fucking good time. But now we go on to New Year's, which is literally this New Year's Eve, which is this Wednesday. So to all of you out there, please be responsible. Please don't drink and drive, right? If you're going to go somewhere, behave, have proper, etiquette, right? Don't show up and act like it's your first time. But more importantly, be safe. Okay. Don't try to be the hero. Oh, yeah, I had a couple shots, but I can still drive this car, don't do that. There's nothing wrong with ordering an Uber or, a Lyft or whatever it may be after the party is over. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Like the girl, the person you're trying to impress, look, they'll be more happy to know that you're getting home safe than hearing about something that happened the following day. Be that as it may, this Wednesday I'm going out with my cousin, so that should be fun for the most part. And then yeah, man, hello 2026. it just sunk into me. Yeah, bro, this is the last Steve's Kitchen of 2025. Been a lot of good times, right? There've been a lot of good times here on the channel, for the most part. And then for the most part, again, we've had a lot of good times here on the channel. And we hope to continue that in 2026. And yes, I do promise in 2026 to be more active on the channel, be more consistent with it. Cause I realized near the end here, I haven't like take last week, for instance, right? Last week I didn't do Raw Rundown. I didn't do something about Dynamite. Like, look, first of all, it was Christmas Day. I'm not gonna do this on Christmas Day. I'm just not. Okay. Also factoring in, again, being that where I work and all the overtime that I was getting, I would come home exhausted. So understand that as well. But I do promise to be more consistent on the channel in 2026. That is the plan. Okay. Um, and yeah, hopefully do more stuff for channel members, right? And I will be also um time. Oh yeah, I did again, Chief. Time needs to slow down. 2 days left in 2025. I feel like it was yesterday. It was 2024. Absolutely, brother. And this crazy part about it is by the time we get to, you know, next year, right? By 2 days before the year ends, we'll be like, man, it just feel like it was only yesterday. It was 2025. Like it's so crazy. But be that as it may, I did also mention this weeks ago when I just moved here to this new house. I will be doing cooking videos real soon. Like, well, obviously in 2026, being that I was waiting to finally have, be in the new house, um, have my own kitchen finally where I can do the stuff that I want to do. So be on the lookout for that to drop sometime in January. The way I look at it, as far as the cooking videos go, I'm gonna try to do two of them a month. Two of them. That is the plan for now. Um, I might just put that for channel members eventually. So for now, for all of you out there, when I do drop these cooking videos, you get to watch them, enjoy them, but eventually that's going to end up on the paywall for channel members. And if you want to be a channel member, it's only $2.99 a month. Only $2.99 a month. Hit that join button that you see on the bottom there next to the subscribe. Or if you're on a mobile device, you don't see the join button. It's okay. I understand that. Again, it happens. You might have an Android device, and that's fine too. I used to be a loyal. 1 second here. I used to be a loyal customer of Samsung. Okay. Yeah, look at this. My old phone, the Samsung S7, the Galaxy S7, the last Android device I've had as an Android user. The last one. And I will say this all the time. I miss the cameras on the Samsung. Yes, I am an iPhone user right now, but the one thing I'll miss about Samsung, about Android phones in general, are the cameras. But besides that, if you don't see the join button, there's a link down below in the description of this stream on the YouTube feed, okay? Where it'll direct you to it and you can become a channel member. It's that simple, okay? And if you're on Kick and if you're on Twitch, thank you for watching there as well. Hit the like, hit the follow button, hit the share, whatever it is. I thank all of you, for putting up with the shit that I do. I thank all of you. You guys are awesome as always. I love each and every one of you. Okay, and I hope that we're all able to go into 2026 with a bang, gang. Okay, so let's get on to the shall we? Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with service, shall we? So without further ado,
Let's fucking go.
so this past Saturday was AEW's Worlds End 2025. Now, it totally crossed my mind. I totally forgot. Not that the show was happening. That part I didn't forget. I forgot that it was going to be at the Now Arena. When you think back, the Now Arena was a staple for the early days of AEW. Yes, granted, the first All In was in that building, right? So there's historical, there's history, if you will, with the building itself, right? And I totally forgot that it was in that building, right? But overall, look, this was their last pay-per-view of the year for AEW. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought this was a very enjoyable show for the most part. Was this as good as Double or Nothing 2025? No. I thought, in my opinion, that is the best AEW pay-per-view show of the year. Double or Nothing 2025. Okay. Did it hit that standard? No. Was the wrestling on this show good? Yeah. For the most part, yeah, absolutely. And the one thing, look, I hate to come off like a broken record because I know that's how I'm just gonna come off. I can't help myself, but I'm gonna say this until the cows come home. God damn it, these shows, I gotta trim the shit down. I gotta trim the fat. AEW, look, and I know Tony will never listen, so I'm basically talking into the vortex, basically, right? Look, 2026, trim the fat on these pay-per-views. These shows did not need to end at 12:30 in the morning, going almost into 1 a.m. Now, mind you, what me and the boys, we tend to do once the show's over, because, we watch and all that stuff, and we tend to check out the media scrum because we want to hear what Tony has to say and all that stuff, right? And in my mind, now keep in mind, I am aware there's a time difference from where I'm at here in the Northeast in New Jersey to Chicago. I get it. It's two different time difference, right? There, Chicago is behind by an hour. So I can understand, hey, at the time when the show ended, it was 11:30. I get that portion of it, right? I think many people don't put that into consideration because you'll hear people complain about the show, like I did moments ago, telling you, man, these shows are too long. This is this and that, yada yada. But they don't mention the detail that this past Saturday, this past Saturday, I keep on saying this past Saturday, they were an hour behind. So I take that also into consideration, right? I take that also into consideration. So, with that being said, I do feel like, again, they need to trim down these shows. In my opinion, they need to seriously, uh, they need to slow down with the way they time these shows. They need to they need to trim the fat on these shows, but they'll never listen. They never will. That being said, look, again, there's certain things on the show that I probably would have, let slide. I would have had them, you know, I probably would have had some of these shows on Dynamite, but I get it. Tony wants to get everyone that they possibly can on this show. I understand. Piper Niven has officially retired. Source, my man. Source. You got to give me a source. Or tell you what, send me a link to where I can see this, because all I'm seeing right now, there's concerning regarding Piper Niven's future in ring. Piper Niven on William Regal warning about the neck injuries. All I'm seeing right now is Piper Niven's responding to Regal's tweet about the neck. WWE superstar Piper Niven in-ring future is in doubt following a serious neck injury, according to a recent discussion on Wrestling Observer Live. During a segment focused on the dangers of neck injuries in modern professional wrestling, host Brian Alvarez mentioned Niven as a cautionary tale. He noted that Niven has been out of action since August and stated she might never wrestle again due to the severity of her condition. I mean, there have been a lot of talk within one talk that this one's career ender. This was a career ender, Alvarez said, in her neck, and it's the same deal. It's wear and tear and took a bump, and that was it. Niven herself recently commented on a recovery in response to William Regal's post, highlighting the precautionary nature of her health. The line between "I feel fine" and "I just want to feel okay again" is horrifically thin. Niven wrote, "You have zero idea how close you are to teetering on the edge of it. Please take heed, my darlings." So I guess that was her response to the tweet. Now, whether it's over or not, my man, I don't know. But you made it seem like she has officially gone out there and said it's officially over. So, yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But let's get back to this. Let's get back to the pay-per-view, shall we? I do feel like, honestly, there's some of these matches I would have had on Dynamite or Collision. But I get Tony wants to get everybody on the show. Okay. So we started the show off, and they let you know during the 0 hour that they're kicking the show off with Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita in the semifinal match of the Continental Classic. I thought, look, as far as the first time, like seeing these two guys go at it, that's the one thing I think a lot of us have been waiting for. You want to see the moment Konosuke and Okada lock up one-on-one, right? And I ain't gonna lie, a part of me thought this would have been the finals, right? But that did not turn out to be. That being said, considering the fact that both of these guys have a busy weekend ahead, like they're both flying out to Japan, if not already, or they're on their way, they're already there, or they're on their way there, whatever it may be, they have a busy weekend at Wrestle Kingdom, right? Okada's facing Tanahashi and Tanahashi's farewell match, and Konosuke Takeshita is defending the IWGP World Championship against Yota Tsuji. So you're looking at this match and you're saying to yourself, if you're New Japan, who do you want? Who do you want to have win? More importantly, please do not injure yourselves. And that being said, look, as far as their first match, did it like blow me away? No. But I get it. This is a match. These are two guys who are meant to run it back. And when they do, that's when you know, okay, they're going to go off the rail. They're going to go crazy with it. Right now, what they probably knew, like, hey, look, we know for a fact that these Americans cannot wait to see us lock up. Let's milk this today. Let's go easy with it, because again, they got to go to Japan in a couple of days. They're probably there already. They're heading there, whatever the case may be. But for now, I thought this was, it was fine for the most part, right? Yes, it was the first time that they ever faced up with each other one-on-one. Absolutely. Why did Tony book that finish? I think it has a lot to do with this is just a snippet of what you're going to get from these two guys, right? Secondly, if you're new, I think New Japan also had a lot to do with this, like an influence in the sense of, again, both of these guys have to fly to Japan. Both of these guys are in key matches at Wrestle Kingdom this coming Sunday morning, whatever it is that you're watching. You're going to watch it or not, I don't know. So, okay, how do we make this where both of them have something going on. In this case, Okada's match is the main event. Okada and Tanahashi are closing. So you want to give Okada some type of like momentum going in at the end of the day. But be that as it may, um, I'll be honest, I literally thought this was going to be a finals match, and it was not. Had it been a finals match, I would have said Takeshita. I would have said Konosuke Takeshita and got that one wrong. Okada got the win with the help from a screwdriver. And I know for some people that kind of like, man, it took away the magic of the match. And I get that. But I go back to what I was saying. Like, look, both these guys got to go to Japan, Wrestle Kingdom. They both got big, important matches, right? So, yeah, let's get through that. We'll run this back, and they will. I would say sometime by the time we get to Revolution. By the time we get to Revolution, because remember, Okada in all of this is still the international champion. He is no longer the continental champion. It's a whole fucking mess. Okay. It's a whole fucking mess. From there, we go on to John Moxley versus Kyle Fletcher. And this was the other semifinal match, and the winner of this would have gone on to meet was going to go on to meet Okada. I thought this was the match of the night, in my humble opinion. This was my match of the night. I will say this, to me, Kyle Fletcher is the MVP of this tournament. Just by his matches alone, the match with Speedball and this match alone. And the fact that he got a win over Okada, right? And just the performances that he's been putting on in this tournament alone. Kyle Fletcher, by the time we get into 2026, he needs to be a finalist in the Owen. He needs to be a finalist. This guy, look, if you're AEW, you have a star. You have a star in Kyle Fletcher. But that being said, the match for what it was going pretty good for the back and forth, right? They gave you these moments where you thought Fletcher would have the win. Yes, there was that spot. I think it was like a German suplex off the top turnbuckle. I think it was. And Fletcher landed on his head. Look, I understand there's certain things you got to worry about, safety and all that stuff. It's unfortunate what happened. The reality is, no matter how many times veterans and other wrestlers from yesteryear give their thoughts on social media, people will still do it. People will still, and I don't want to sit here and be like, man, they were being reckless out there, because they weren't. I just think accidents happen, right? But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, these situations will end up always happening. Okay, universe, I need to you gotta just tell me sources, bro. Cause you're just saying this, and if I go on right now, because let me see here. You gotta start giving me sources too, brother. Let me see here. Okay. I'm seeing here from Ringside News. I don't trust those fuckers. Okay, here's Fightful. Okay. She turned down. Okay. I'm seeing it here. Okay. You're on to something here, man. You're on to something there, Universal. It's loading up right now. It's loading up. Gail Kim shared that she turned down offer from WWE. Sucks, but had to. Interesting. Very interesting. Let me see here. On Christmas Day, okay, so on Christmas Day, Gail Kim did a Q&A with her followers. One of the questions presented to her was whether she is working for or will be willing to work with WWE. Kim noted that she unfortunately had to decline the offer. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, Gail Kim is one of the best to fucking do it, regardless whether she works for WWE or not. But back to come on, World's End, okay? Back to World's End. There's a moment in the match where Kyle Fletcher was trying to find the screwdriver that Okada had early on in his match. People forget that Okada threw it under the apron, right underneath the ring when it was over. So Kyle Fletcher trying to break all the turnbuckle padding, trying to find the damn screwdriver, and he couldn't find it. When it was all said and done, though, John Moxley did get the win over Kyle Fletcher. There's a moment, where he's literally choking the fuck out of Kyle Fletcher, and Fletcher's head turns into a fucking purple, bro. His shit turned purple. But again, I thought this was probably the match of the night. This was, again, just to show you guys how good is Kyle Fletcher, how he was the MVP of the tournament, in my humble opinion. And hopefully he has an even better 2026. From there, we go to FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang for the AEW tag team titles in a Chicago street fight. I'll be honest, I was good. I did not need to have this on the show. I get it, right? Chicago street fight, so you might as well, right? And all that stuff. This is, again, the Collision story. Something that you're seeing on Collision to lead up to this match. It was fine. Again, this just screamed Collision. When it was all said and done, FTR did get the win. Like, they're gonna probably hold on to these titles more than likely once Cope and Christian return. I'm sorry, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage make their return, hopefully by Revolution. I hope so for their sake. But we'll see. But yeah, they retained. There's a moment in the match where Stokely Hathaway is on the apron and there's a table on the outside. And instead of going through the table, he slides off the table onto like the barricade. It looked like, but when it was all said and done, he was okay. From there, we go on to we had the men's tag team title match. Now we go on to the women's. We had the Babes of Wrath of Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale versus Athena and Mercedes Moné. Again, I did not honestly, if I had to remove one of the tag team title matches off the show, I would have done without the Chicago street fight, in my opinion. Okay? Because to me, that just screamed Collision. This match, on the other hand, look, did it blow my mind? No. But I felt like it would have been foolish as all hell if we're going to have the Babes of Wrath, who just won these tag titles, right? Just lose it to Athena and Mercedes, which would have been silly as all hell. And they're continuing the downfall of Mercedes because she did get pinned after all. And yeah, they retained their tag titles, the Babes of Wrath. Again, rightfully so. They're continuing the downfall of Mercedes, right? She lost the Ring of Honor Television Championship. She lost to Tony Storm. Oh, my bad. She lost to Chris Statlander at Full Gear, if I remember correctly. She lost, obviously, to Red Velvet, right? She in a rematch, right, for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. What else? She lost her Rev Pro Undisputed titles to Alex Windsor. So we're continuing this whole downfall. Chances are Tony might have her drop the belt before she drops all the other Mickey Mouse titles that she has. Because you're Tony, you're not gonna have your champion go to these indie shows and just take loss after loss. No, it's not happening. But we'll see how we get to it. But yeah, congrats on the Babes of Wrath on retaining. From there, we go on to Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd. And I'll be honest, I did not need this on the show. This could have been safe for Dynamite. Okay? Could have been safe for Dynamite. Darby got the win for those that cared. So there was that. From there, we went on to the Mixed Nuts Mayhem 8-man tag. You had Roderick Strong of the what's it called? Of his crew. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, what is Roderick Strong's Oh my goodness. I need to know. I'm having a fucking brain fart right now. I'm having a fucking brain fart right now. Yes, I'll leave the site right now. Uh oh my goodness. It don't matter. Okay. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Okay. But point is though, right? Roderick Strong, you had Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Timeless Tony Storm going up against the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta. Somewhere in this match, Roderick Strong and his wife, Marina Shafir, who are in real life a married couple, got it on. We had domestic violence on a wrestling show. You'll love to see it. Also in this match, you had Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy dancing, dancing in the ring, doing double team moves. Um, doing double team moves. Um, and then after that, um, when it was all said and done, you had Mark Briscoe hit the J Driller on Wheeler Yuta for the pin for the win. I mean, look, this was basically a fuck anything can go match, basically, right? It was fine. Again, when you have this, and then you have a Chicago street fight. And I also want to point this out too: the Moxley Fletcher match. John Moxley, this match went about 23 minutes. John Moxley did not bleed not once. Holy shit, he's human. John Moxley's fucking human. Okay. From there, we go on to Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter. They had that the conglomeration. That's Orange Cassidy. That's Willow. That's oh, there you go. The Paragon, right? The Paragon. That's the name of his other group. Okay. But we go on to, like I mentioned before, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter. Thought the match was fine for the most part. The match went about 18 minutes. Crowd sort of into this for the most part. I ain't gonna lie, this crowd kind of sucked, in my opinion. Like Chicago, when you think about it, right? They are a very, very passionate wrestling like city, right? They're passionate about their wrestling. They don't fuck around. They're very passionate about their wrestling. And it just felt like for most of the show, they were just sitting there like, we're just chilling. We still haven't recovered from Christmas. Okay. So we're just recovering. Okay. Let me fucking recover in peace. But with that being said, again, the match for what it was worth was fine. Honestly, I would have done this in Europe. Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander, they were all in Manchester a couple of weeks ago. I felt like Jamie Hayter returning to Europe, getting a shot at the title there would have been more fitting, in my humble opinion. But with that being said, Chris Statlander did get the win. She does retain. Where does she go from here? I have no clue. That's the thing. I have no fucking clue. From there, we go on to the finals of the Continental Classic. John Moxley versus Kazuchika Okada. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, they were just phoning it in. The match wasn't bad or anything, but you could just tell just by them going at and do just certain spots that they were doing. They're like, all right, you know what? Let's just take it easy. Let's phone this in. Okay. I'm tired. I know you're tired. You got to go to Japan after this. So let's just take it easy. And that's what they did here. They took it easy. And again, going into this, I'm like, Okada might win, right? Bill been him and Takeshita. That didn't happen. The match, like I said, for what it was worth, it wasn't bad or anything. I just felt like they phoned it in for the most part. Um, I think the big thing here is that John Moxley got the win. John Moxley defeated Kazuchika Okada. in the finals. Now, here's the thing about this. This is the issue. So now Okada is no longer the unified champion because he lost because the titles are no longer unified. So basically in AEW right now, you have the Continental Championship, which is being held by Jon Moxley. You have the International Championship being held right now by Kazuchika Okada. You have the National Championship held by a Ricochet. Right? You have also the TNT title. The TNT title, who's being held by Mark Briscoe. Right? You have all these mid-card belts all over the place right now. That's the thing. Like the moment, and I hate that I'm coming off like you being a grifter. I'm not. It's just an observation. Right? It's just a fucking observation. All these titles all over the place. And the crazy part about it is I think there'll be more titles showing up soon. But they just announced a match for next week, SmackDown Black versus Priest. An ambulance match, you say, huh? Let me see here. Yes, exactly. Brandon Brown. Way too many belts. Way too fucking many belts right now. It's insane, bro. Kevin Nash on his podcast said CM Punk is embarrassing as WWE champion and he needs to retire. No, he did not say all that. Now, I think his big issue was, in his eyes, Punk is done. He also talked about Punk wrestling in a t-shirt. And I get it. Look, you have a right to your opinion, right? I mean, this is the same Kevin Nash who for years wrestled with a singlet on, right? Or sometimes he would have wrestled with a t-shirt here and there. Point is, it's Kevin Nash. Okay. And again, CM Punk, for what it's worth, dude's had all these injuries over the years. So chances are, bruh, father time is catching up. So, it's a matter of opinion, but I think when that time comes, it's coming. But what was I going to say here? Yeah, man. Jon Moxley did get the win. He is now he is the Continental Champion. And then after he cuts this babyface promo, this like rah rally up the troops promo, putting over the Continental Classic, putting over everyone who participated, how he did all this, how this belt belongs to them, to the fans, to everyone who participated, who left it all on the line, the works, right? Put over AEW, it's what we do, and so on and so forth. And in my mind, I'm like, ain't this what the Death Riders are against, though? So I'm waiting for them to turn on Jon Moxley. I'm waiting for them to attack Jon Moxley. They didn't even do that. Now, it's evident that Pac was not there. Who to say they're waiting for Pac to be the one who leads the attack, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe Pac ends up being the new leader of the Death Riders, right? It's very possible. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. Pac to show up and him to lead the charge and all that stuff. We'll see. From there, we got the main event. We have MJF, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Fatal 4-Way for the AEW World Championship. I felt like they were going very quick in the beginning. The way they were just going at it, right? I felt like there was some time cut off from the match. I don't know how y'all felt about that. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but it felt like time was cut off from this match in the main event. And look, the right person won. Yes, there was run-ins, right? You did have the op show up. You did have Hook show up. All that stuff, right? All that happened. But you knew going into this had to end just one way, and that is with MJF walking out as the new AEW World Champion. Because again, you're not going to have this guy cash in his signed contract to be put in a fatal four-way just to lose. You're not doing that. You're not doing that, right? When it was all said and done, MJF pinned Samoa Joe, the same guy who took the title away from him at the same event where Samoa Joe beat MJF for the world title. I want to say 2 years ago. The same build, the same event, different city, right? But the same time of the year. It's full circle moment. This Wednesday, we'll hear from MJF. Who to say he shows up with the return of the Triple B? It's very possible, right? Universal Rights here. Carmelo Hayes says he is bringing back the spinner title. First, my man needs to get his own side plates, and then we'll discuss spinners and stuff like that. He's got the belt. That's great. Now, buddy, you got to defend it. You got to defend it. You got to put it on the line and all that other stuff, okay? And then we can talk about all the other stuff. But, yes, MJF is once again the AEW World Champion. I think also, if I'm being honest, right, if you're Tony and you're seeing, and let's just tell it like it is, AEW, the one thing that they lack is to get people to watch. And what I mean with that is the rating, it just fluctuates, right? There's weeks where they're in the 600,000, and there's weeks where they're in the 500s. Maybe bringing in MJF and having him be the one to become the champion again, it will bring people to once again start watching Dynamite again. And I hope for them it works. And also for MJF, he has all the people that he can work with right now. Like a Hangman Adam Page, right? Like a Swerve Strickland. Will Ospreay, once Will Ospreay makes a speedy recovery, right? Eventually as well, Switchblade Jay White, right? Jack Perry, Darby Allin, right? John Moxley eventually. Well, again, there's so many people he can work with right now, right? So I look forward to seeing this again. Nevertheless, MJF is the new AEW World Champion. He's a 2-time champion now. And that being said, look, Moxley winning the Continental Classic threw me off guard because I did not expect him to win. I literally had Kenosuke winning this, but hey, they went with whoever they thought was the right person. Chris Statlander is still the AEW Women's World Champion. And, of course, the Babes of Wrath and FTR are still tag team champions in their respective divisions. So there was that. That was AEW Worlds End. What a way to end 2025. And I know in about 30 minutes, it'll be the last Raw of 2025. And I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be back live with the Raw Rundown. I'll be back tomorrow. All right. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. You guys are awesome as always. All right. If you guys have not yet, hit the subscribe button down below, because please do so. Okay. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video throughout all social media with all your friends, your families out there. Share it. Share the video. Show the love. If you're on Twitch, if you're on Kick, hit the follow button there as well. I'll be back live tomorrow with the Raw Rundown to talk about all the stuff that went down on Monday Night Raw. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. Follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. That's going to be it for me, y'all. For myself, for the gang. This has been Steve's Kitchen here on the Around the Point Network. Peace.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.